Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
I think we're live. I just wanted to show off my Funko Pop. I finally got it. Sorry. Has nothing to do with comics. I'm sorry. Okay.
I thought that was going to be your closer.
No. What's going on, everyone? It's all about comics. We're here to talk all about comics. Not that Funko Pop. It's a gorgeous Funko Pop, though. So we're here. Two usual suspects. You know, we're going to be talking about our comic books. And today we're going to be talking about price guides, items that we could have used in the beginning when we first started collecting and that wasn't around, you know, pre-interwebs, shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got Comicfan, GENEPAULACEPETER. So, yeah, let's get into it. How we doing today, boys?
Good. Good. Dealing with all the snow. It sucks, but I'd rather talk about comics.
Newfoundland.
On the other hand, no snow. I've got no snow. Nothing but snow. You know, snowless city over here. Plenty of sun. It might rain.
Hard life.
Yeah.
Great check. So this is how I guess this is how it goes. Sean has all the snow. Comicfan has no snow, and I have freezing rain. Where are the the three evolutions? Anyways, nothing. So check it out, guys. Man, what do you wish was around when you guys first started collecting comics? Like, do you wish that there was an eBay around to check on things to find those comics, those books? Do you wish that there was some kind of internet or some kind of price guides or something to help you guys? What do you got, Sean?
Shit, the internet. God, man, like I don't know what I would do now if I didn't have access to find the information that I need to know for my books. Yeah, there's just so many websites you can go to right now. So yeah, definitely the internet. I wish I had that. And not living on Newfoundland. The whole island thing is a bit of a downer. So. Right.
What about you, Comicfan?
Oh man, where do I start? Okay, now part of this is going to start to date me. You know, I'm going to start showing my age because let's just knock out the obvious. We all collected comic books before the interwebs, you know, before bulletin boards and stuff like that. Okay, so one thing, we've got modern technology already out the window. Okay, we were going to rule that out. We don't have that. What I did have, you know, was price guides. I had Wizard magazine. You know, a big, huge step. That, you know what, to go from Overstreet to Wizard was a lot more current, came out every month, and that was kind of, you know, a little thing that kind of helped most of us, you know, go and search out current price values and stuff. On the other hand, I didn't have anything else. To tell you the truth, around your limited area of comic book stores, local comic shows, conventions, you know, if you couldn't find your comic book there, you considered that book rare. Whatever you were looking for, you're like, oh, that book's rare. I can't find it in my surrounding areas. Therefore, oh, it's got to be rare, right? Here we are with modern technology. It's not rare if there's one on eBay, right? So, you know, along with that, yeah, another thing I wish I had back then was steady pay flow, a job. You know,
right.
You know, because when I started comic books, I was using whatever money I had left over from my lunch at school. You know, so
you know,
definitely a job.
It's funny though. You know, when we talked about this question, I was thinking about like an object or something to aid me, and I was just here thinking, I'm all like, you know, foresight. Maybe
foresight, right?
You know, like, or a better appreciation for, you know, the preservation of my comics. You know, so like I was the guy who went around with it rolled up in my pocket or in my book bag, just kind of jammed in there and just in my desk, you know, just mindlessly doodling on them and stuff like that.
How dare you, sir?
I know, I know, but
that's not good, buddy.
Yeah.
So would you say, since you brought up the Wizard, right, and you said that it was coming out monthly, right? Yeah. Now, would you say Wizard then is what eBay is now?
No.
No.
In a sense, yes, but no, not entirely. For one, Wizard magazine had a top 10, something to go by, some kind of a chart, something to follow. Overstreet came out once a year.
Right.
Not so current. So, and aside from that, it had interesting, some little bit of insight into the monthly titles, or what the publishers were going to be coming out with within the upcoming months, or what have you. So it gave you some kind of insight of what to expect.
Right. Now, bringing out the comic price guide on this whole situation, what are your thoughts on the comic price guide in today's standards compared to yesterday's standards? You know what I mean? Like, what would be your thoughts? And Sean, what would be your thoughts on that whole situation?
Well, Overstreet price guide gets overlooked pretty quickly by a lot of collectors, I think, or the value of it. I mean, it's chock full of information. Every year it gets more and more refined, where they update any bad information that they had beforehand. They have a lot of contributors, professional contributors and things like that. Whereas, you take something like Wikipedia or something, and anybody could submit whatever they want. I could say that the first appearance of Wolverine was in my math book or something. You know what I mean? I could say whatever I want until somebody else fixes it. But Overstreet price guide doesn't get away with any of that shit, and the room for error is a lot more. It's brought down a lot more because it is a publication. They are trying to maintain their reputation, and it just keeps getting better and better. And there's a lot of articles and things in there, and current stats, and what last year looked like and what the future looks like. It's a well-rounded book, and I think a book that still today should be viewed as a comic collector's Bible. And I don't think there's enough appreciation for that right now. But today, what it kind of again, at the time, the pricing itself would have some longevity. Today, I mean, it's like a car. It's a lemon as soon as you drive it out of the lot. You know what I mean? Or it starts depreciating in value, and the market changes so fast, so it doesn't hold its weight like it did before with that aspect. But as far as still being a quality publication, and I think a necessity, it's still up there. It keeps getting better every year. Okay.
Now, with the Overstreet price guide, right? That's what it's called, price guide. Okay, you mentioned, about, the pricing a bit there. And Archangel, he's in the chats here. And by the way, shout out to everybody in the chats, right? So my thing on this, since Archangel brought up a good point there, eBay is the price guide and the story. Would you say that the Overstreet price guide is the prices in is kind of null and void compared to what you have going on in the industry with eBay and all those auction houses and everything? And I do know ETA Nick has kind of touched on some of these, but I mean, that's ETA Nick. That dude is like a baller, right? So let's go into lower standard of collectors, us.
But I just want to put something on that real quick. The idea that eBay is a valuable source for pricing your books, but it is not the end all be all, because you got to remember, a market is dictated by two ways. It's the buyers and the sellers. And eBay really heavily reflects the selling of it, but anybody could be in there buying, jacking up the price. So this particular book sells for $300 this week, as opposed to last month it was $100 book or something, let's say. But if a bunch of people who aren't in the business of collecting have nothing to base it off, and they go in and pay whatever for it, does that dictate what it's worth to a collector? No, it doesn't. I mean, so you have to tread carefully. It is one of the better ones, but you do have to tread carefully when you go by that. You can really lose out a lot of money. What you think and perceive as a good deal may not be a good deal.
What about you, Joe? What is your thoughts on that?
Okay, if I can retain my thoughts for a second. I'm going to address this to you guys here, and I'm also going to address this to the people in the chat. Now,
Mm-hmm.
now that we heard from the chat saying that eBay is the definitive on pricing, let me ask you this: when you go up, put your books up on a counter, you've got that one hot book. Do you hope the guy brings out a price guide, or do you hope he looks it up on eBay?
Price guide.
Price guide all the time. So I was thinking that the price guide is constantly fighting to be a valid commodity here in the comic book community, as well as just trying to fight and to stay alive. That being any kind of publication is still fighting to be alive and be viable. To me, if you were to just go straight to look into the values of the book, I think you guys are sorely mistaken trying to just see this as a regular price guide, okay? It serves more than just the price and the value of, depending on what the grade of your book is. To me, when I start reading this, and I do read it, these are the original speculators of the comic book world, to tell you the truth. This goes far beyond what you see on your normal comic book talk show or your bulletin boards or your Google Plus forums, what have you. Wherever you guys get your sources from on information on the value of a book, you got to remember, this is where it all started, okay? If you read the articles, it totally tells you what is in speculation for the upcoming year. Although it's not current, it might not be current 6 months from the time it's published. You have to remember that the respective people that are commenting in this book are the original speculators.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that gave us the information, and I really would challenge people to actually read the
Articles.
The advice that these people are giving.
That's a very good point. I mean, I bought one. In fact, I bought two. I bought one for really cheap, and then the other one was on sale at Barnes and Nobles, which was shocking. And I picked it up. So yeah. I mean, I always suggest people to get it because, like Sean and Joe both say, that it's very informational. A lot of stuff in it is very informational. You find out first appearances. Sometimes you don't find out a first appearance in it, or anything that's key about a certain book, but yeah, you can find somewhere else online that has that minimal key. But overall, it's really good for a lot of things. What do you got?
There's another really good aspect about picking up an Overstreet price guide. First, I want to say, because it is Christmas, and I remember getting my first Overstreet price guide during Christmas in 1987, and going through it was like going through a wish book. I mean, it was incredible, man. And it's like a certain one of those things you got to do at some point. You know, as a collector, maybe you get older and you're like, I don't care. I see everything online. Like I said, going to the book, it's amazing. But this is what taught me to grade. This and the physical of going through my collection and various collections and stuff. But this is what taught me how to grade. And these guys grade on a stricter curve than CGC and most of the other slabbing companies. I don't know why that is. I have my theories, more money brings in more business, what have you. But I know Overstreet, I believe Overstreet is tied with CGC, right? Yes.
I think so now.
I would like to think, though, as far as I know, there isn't. But if they could all beat on one medium of what a definitive grade is, that would help. Right now, there is really no standard. It's basically you're taking somebody's word for it when you're having books graded, but that's off topic. But really, I really wish there was a place where everybody can meet together on a definitive grade.
Well, I do know in the new one here, I was looking in the back, and it shows the contributors, and there were right here. I just flipped it open. A gentleman here, Daniel Eterl, modern age specialist. He works for CBCS. There are people who work for the grading companies of CBCS, CGC, nobody in PGX, guys, sorry, that work here. I mean, Steve Borak, he's in here. He's one of the Overstreet advisors. And so these guys do contribute to this. So I mean that's something. And there's a lot of in the chat here, there's a lot of, I mean, we struck a good nerve here. There's a lot of stuff going on in the chat. People have all their their comments. You got Big E's. The difference between back in the day and now is because of the internet. We can track sales. Then they're talking about that. Let's see. Okay, here you go. That comic book guy. Comic shows are good indicators on price locally and regionally. JLS, there's a lot of chill sales that falsely drive the price. I don't know how to say that word. SCHIL.
And that's what I was talking about. There's if I go on and I have 100 copies of a book, okay, and I'm trying to move that book, I'm like, people are out there jacking up the prices of stuff, throwing in these fake shill bids to make sure that this book that's actually worth $3 is maintaining a $20 value. Next thing you know, word spreads. Now everybody's doing it. All you got to do is set the pace. That's all you got to do, set the pace for people. And next thing you know, you're paying $250 for an $8 book. I mean, it's happening left, right, and center. And who's going to argue with making money? Nobody is. So everybody's going to agree with it, that this is the standard because they want to make money. But when it comes to buying, like Joe said, I would most certainly want that person to be going through the guide. And a
lot of people said that in the chat. They all said price guide.
And to go with the just, I don't know, 1 second.
I mean, there's ups and downs to it all with the comic book price guide. It's really all about how you can utilize it. I think if you can utilize this damn price guide in your favor, you'll win compared to a lot of things. And it's just like they said, use the price guide at the cons, man. That's where you get your fucking shit from, man. For real.
Yeah. Can I add something really quick?
Always.
I will say that this is not to be used for something that is in the moment, a book that is in the moment. I refer to this all the time when I have like that Silver Age or that Golden Age book that I have not a whole lot of information on. And this is my go-to Bible here for that sort of thing. When it's something that's a little bit more dated, something that is not hot in the moment, but it's still something that I would like part of my collection. This is my go-to thing to find out about it, first and foremost.
Viewing it as a to find out the value of a book, everybody's right. It is. It's the book value only for that moment it was printed. Once it comes out, shit has changed. But Comic Book Steve he made a good point. This is the base guide value of it. You know what I mean? For the upcoming year, for the foreseeing future. And from there, anything speculative and the ebb and flow of eBay and Amazon and all different kinds of sites, that's what controls it. That's true. But to ignore that and say that this book is, possibly, there's no value to this. This is like throwing away $50. It's chock with so much information. I mean, everything I know from comic books, I've learned from Overstreet. Right.
I'm gonna get to we've beaten that one. Comic book price guide. If you guys want something good, get it. If you guys could give a shit about it, don't get it. Don't buy the brand new one, because you buy the brand new one, you're gonna be paying a hefty chunk of change. I think this thing, what is this? It's $30 for a brand new one. So I would go buy an older one. You can get it for $10 at comic shops and stuff. Sometimes you can just ask them if they have one old one that they don't want anymore. They'll just give it to you. So there was a question that was asked earlier in the chat by Ray. Ray was wondering what myself and Sean are collecting, or what runs are we trying to complete?
Joe, Comic Fan, you can sit this one out.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know. We don't know that guy.
For me, I'm still working on my Incredible Hulk run. It's a race between me and GDJ Rod. He actually ducked out. And Werewolf by Night. Those are the two that I'm really trying to finish. I'm really close to the Werewolf by Night. I've got one last book that's going to be a little rinky-dinky, but actually two, 33 and 37. So second, third-ish appearance of Moon Knight. So, but all the Hulk taken care of as far as that goes.
Well, that's good. I mean, GDJ Rod just got a good chunk knocked out the other day.
Don't want
I
to hear
think he
about
said
it.
he needed like 15 left, man, or something like that, if I'm not
So
mistaken.
Sad doesn't want to
I
hear
don't
about
want to
that.
hear about that, sir.
Yeah, he's close to winning, bro. What's wrong with you? Get on your game, son.
Don't want to hear about that, sir.
Don't want to hear about it. All right. Me, I am.
He just said race and he started laughing at me. See what you've done?
Yeah. All right. That's
That's
what
how the
race?
fight started.
Of 48
What's up,
issues he
everybody?
has left. 48 issues he has left, sir. For me, Ray, I am trying to finish out my Flash with Volume 2 run. And I'm trying to finish out my Deadpool Volume 1. I finished Joe Kelly's run on it, 1 to 33. Now I need to finish out, the Price and the Gail Simone run. And I got like 15 books left on that. And then I'm also at the same time trying to knock out these mini series for Darth Maul. That's it. And we'll throw Joe in there. Hey, Joe. What runs are you? What runs are you trying to complete, sir? We know you just completed Spider Woman, but what are you trying to complete now, sir?
Nothing really big because I have a fear of commitment, basically towards running comic books. I can't commit to like really big runs, so I go for the small runs. 50 issue runs are kind of like my speed, and if a series goes past that, then I try to commit to a certain storyline or story arc. So right now I'm trying to complete an X-Men run between 94 and 150, and I think I'm about 12 issues shy of that right now, which I'm pretty pumped, because you asked me this last year, and I would seriously say that I wasn't so much a key hunter, but a person who liked the history of first appearances and stuff like that. Hanging around with you guys, the guys within chat and stuff like that, have really changed my habits. I've gotten about three runs completed within the year, and they're about 50 issue runs. So I've completed Miss Marvel, I've completed Spider-Woman, like you said, and I'm on the way through She-Hulk and Howard the Duck right now. And aside from that, I'm collecting little runs, like 7-issue runs, like Marvel Chillers, which was like a 7-issue run. I just finished that today. It's like little stuff, and now I'll work my way into the bigger runs. Eventually.
The Cat, you finished The Cat, didn't you?
Oh, that's like a 4-issue run.
Yeah.
Come on.
Still a run, man.
Yeah,
Still a run.
yeah. I did complete that.
Is 2 issues a run? Do you think 2 issues? How many issues would constitute a run? Do you think? It's got to be more than 3.
Okay, well, we talked about that the last episode with the 12-issue maxi series, like you stated our last episode. So I would have to say, let's give that. Hey, New 52. New 52 was a 2-year run, right?
Right.
That's about 26 issues, 24 issues, right? Oh, 52 issues. Okay. Yeah, I would say about a 50-issue run would be sufficient of a complete run. Do you know of any that are shorter than that, between 12 and 50?
No.
No.
There's a ton. I mean, Sleepwalker, Rom.
Oh yeah.
Some of these
Dazzler.
books. Dazzler.
Yeah, I would have to say, something beyond the maxi series, and something that eventually has ultimately ended. It could mean a whole lot of things, really.
I want to give a big shout out to Carlos in the chat. He's blowing it up. I got to show something, because he sent me a package, and this was something I'd showed to a lot of people. It was only a picture of it, but I got this in the mail today through the snowstorm and everything. Made it here. He said
thing up. Look at all the doodles on it.
Hey, dude, he hooked it up. And I just got to throw this in real quick. I don't know who the 9 Claw is, but he said smack Gene Paul in the nose.
That's Mike. That's my boy from Newfoundland.
That was good. Yeah, dude, Lowe's hooked it up, bro.
Yeah. This is covered.
Definitely.
Covered. Campbell, Greg Pak, Mark Brooks, Chris Claremont, Eric Larson, Joe Staten, Alex Ross, Terry Dotson signing on the face.
Adam
right.
Yeah, Simonson.
Hey.
Everyone. Terry Moore. Amazing stuff. Amazing.
Just for a second, Could you tell us the story behind the doodle on the face? There was a little story about that, wasn't there? About how the person
Carrie
didn't
Fisher.
appreciate that.
That's right. Carrie Fisher is on that as well.
I believe. Who did the actual cover on that?
This is the Alex Ross cover.
And from what I recall,
Terry
was
Dotson covered. No, it was Terry Dotson. I think it was that signed right on the helmet. That's
on
the story.
Face, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is Alex Ross variant, and he signed it there, and it came with COA and everything like that. And then Terry Dotson signed on the face there. He jacked up Vader's face, but yeah, that's okay with me. I don't care. It's all good. I think it's hilarious, actually. But
Surfer said Carrie Fisher was drunk.
Right.
We've heard that story. Yeah, it was a good story hearing that story.
Yeah, but he sent along some other books, so I'm going to do a video real quick and throw up the stuff that he sent. It was awesome, amazing to get this on a shitty day of shoveling. This was amazing, and we were on the off air when he was going around from person to person doing this. It was amazing. Yeah,
it was fun.
It was very. I mean, it was pretty cool. It was nice to see that. In the chat here, man, a lot of people are getting close to finishing their runs on a lot of the things. So that's good that everybody's like working to get their stuff finished, and that's really good. I'm just reading through the chats. You got Jeff Johnson. He's got one book left. One book left on Savage She-Hulk. Looks like AG Surfer is thinking of doing the first series of Spectre. I think there's 10 issues. Ray's trying to get on the King of the Golden States Holy Grail Club. Dude, that's a hard club to get in.
Yeah, I don't even try.
Let's see. There was a question in here. I'm trying to figure out where it went. Down here, I guess. What websites do you guys use while I look for this? What websites do you guys use to find out your first appearances if you cannot find them in the comic book price guide?
Yes, well, and that said too, we'll come back to that real quick. The Overstreet Price Guide also isn't the one and only source too. You need all this, and that's the advantage that we have now. Just being in connecting, watching other people's YouTube videos. I've learned a lot from YouTubers, man. It's crazy. But some of the sites that I use for pricing is comicbookpriceguide.com. My comic shop is good for information. They've got a lot of pretty accurate information info put onto their listings and stuff. Prices can be because of commissions and things like that. Nucadia.com, that's another shop or whatever. And they've got a pretty big inventory. Ones that I would stay away from is like the website for Mile High Comics. It looks like running CDOS and shit. It's do not go there unless you want to have a good laugh at some prices.
I talked to Chuck, the guy from Mile High Comics, at one of our local shows, and I said, "Hey, Chuck, could I call you Chuck?" He said, "Yes." And he said, that's been one of the things that has been in constant development. Yet the website never changes. I asked him. I said, "When are you going to update the website? We need a better website." They said it's on its way, but of course I asked him that about 3 years ago.
I want to point out 9 Claw said Holy Grails or for the Monty Python. I don't know.
As far as websites are concerned, I normally reach out to my community. I don't go to a specific website. I normally, like you guys said, I'd go and check out my people on YouTube that I subscribe to. Always a great, constant source of information. If I need any kind of info, I'll normally just Google it. To tell you the truth, I'm pretty lame when it comes up to looking up stuff. First thing it comes up is probably Wikipedia, which gets changed depending on who's adding stuff to it. One site I do like to toy with, but I wouldn't recommend straight out. I use comicbookrealm.com. As far as values, don't do it. It's outrageously inflated in value. But if you want to put your collection on there, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you're sitting on a pile of gold. But,
Right.
it does give some okay information.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just found the question. The question was, what are our 2 best stealth buys?
Oh.
Now we're going to start with you, Comic Fan, because you go to a lot of flea markets. You go to a lot of little conventions and all that stuff like that.
You got me a little off guard though, because I don't have the books in front of me.
So,
wow, man, you guys are gonna make me reveal some really shady business.
That's right.
Okay, all right. I'll just give you some at the top of my head. All right, I've got this Miss Marvel #1 that I still owe $5 on because I had a 20 on me. I said, "Hey, can you break a 20?" He said, "No, just give me the $5 later." He forgot, so it's pretty much free. That's a stealth buy that the guy doesn't know I still owe him $5. There are the other times where I don't go to comic book stores or conventions. There are the Craigslist halls or Kijiji halls for the people up in the Great White North. There are very, very many of those I've come across where I've. Okay, here's one. When I was 19 years old, there was a lady who had a husband who was in the Vietnam War. He passed away in the war, unfortunately. But he left behind 2 trunks of comic books. And in those trunks of comic books, off the top of my head, was an Iron Man #1 and a Submariner #1, along with 2 trunks full of other comics. And she said, "What do you think about them?" I said, "Well, I'd like to take them home and read them." And she said, "They're yours." So those aren't exactly stealth buys because I didn't pay anything for them. But yes, I did get those books for free.
Wow. By the way, you got King of the Golden State saying Cold-Blooded Joe. Cold. Big E's like, how dare you, Comic Fan?
I didn't rip anybody off. They offered
that $5 one you did.
I got $5 in my pocket right now. I can pay them right now.
But
not gonna bother me one bit.
But I won't.
Right. Yeah, I won't. I'll bring him a Coke. Here you go, sir. Here's a Coke and a smile.
Right. Give him 5 of them. I don't care. 5 of them. That's all right.
What about you, there, shiny boy?
I don't know. I feel like everything I get is on the stealth buy. I go in and I'm up front with sellers right away. I'm like, yeah, listen here, pal. I only pay 60% of the guide value, and I don't buy into speculation. And they're all like, yeah, okay, the guide means business. And no, I only got so much money in my pocket. I'm not no high roller, so I need to get it down to where I can afford it. So I never.
I can name one stealth buy that I seen. It wasn't. I don't even think it was a stealth buy. I think you would just say, "Give me your shit," and ran. That's when he bought like that whole, like, what's it, 10 issues of the first Bishop.
Oh yeah.
Would you pay like $1 for one? Like, get out of here,
well,
man.
it was a slip up on their part. Okay, so like in this particular shop, the way that they had it was anything that wasn't priced was cover price. So I'm not going to say that I pulled any tabs off, anything like that. They didn't check their inventory, and so I'm going through this box, and all week I'm going through this box, and I'm going up with a small amount at a time because I'm like, somebody's going to be like, dude, you can't buy all those for a cover price. Like that's crazy. Why are those? Where are you getting those from? I was getting them from the box in the back. No, a box to the side. We'll say that, to the side. And yeah, and their staff didn't know what they were doing. And that's it. I have taken advantage of a shop, that doesn't educate its staff or doesn't. Matter of fact, one time I brought up books to these people, and they didn't know how to use the Overstreet price guide. If only the show existed before then, they would know the value of an Overstreet price guide. But they didn't know how to do it and use it, and so.
Yeah, go ahead, Frost. What about you? You're not getting away here.
I was going to move on to the next thing. The next question here was.
This is a great subject, by the way. I love it.
A stealth buy. I think. Now, what would you? Now, here's a question for you guys.
Oh, come on. I aired my dirty laundry. There's no question. You know when you did something wrong, and you walk out of that store, all, and then you go back and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Damn.
Well, you know, there were okay. So there's a shop in the Bay Area. I'm not gonna say what shop it was. But I went in there and I found a comic, and it was it was Adam Hughes Supergirl cover. I got that book for super cheap.
How cheap was it?
Well, it just recently got graded by somebody that I know, which is, you know, a great guy. He got it great. He pressed and graded it and came out. I think it came out like a 9.6. I think it came out, and I only bought that book for like $50. It was like, actually no, it was listed at 50, and I got it for 25.
You talked them down. See, that's yeah.
And then I traded it for probably a book that was paid that got bought for $1. I traded for a Shazam 28, you know, first Black Adam in the Bronze Age.
I know who you traded it with too.
But,
you know,
but going on that though, real quick, do you think it's a bad thing to be talking down a shop? I mean, if everybody goes in and does that, does the shop hurt? I mean, the shop definitely has to hurt. And then you have shops closing. I mean, you know, everybody is a preferred customer when you go into a comic shop because you're buying comics. You know, it's not really the most, maybe if you're running one of those toy shop kind of ones. But even then, you have to be selling a lot of inventory.
Well, no, I don't think so. The reason why I don't think so, because only if you're a smart businessman. Now, King of the Gold State is asking, it was a Cape and Cowl. Again, this is a comic shop that's going to be not named, but I'm going to bring up that comic shop, Cape and Cowl, which is a really good comic shop. Now, that shop, the owner of that shop, he's a really good dude, and he's smart. He'll buy, say I went in there with a comic book. Say I went in there with a Hulk 181. He'll buy it from me for $200, and then he'll sell it for $400, right? So he's only trying to double, you know, make his money back and then some, right? But that gives him that, you know, I paid $200, but I have this gap from 2 to 4 on what, you know, where I can sell it at to make a profit. Because not only is it going to be sitting on my shelf for who knows how long, you know, I still got to make some kind of profit. So he does it smartly. He doesn't want to go ahead and buy the book for X amount of dollars and then lose money by selling it cheaper than what you bought it for. You don't want to do that. And he's smart like that. Now, if these other mom and pop shops that aren't realizing this and they don't do it like that, they're going to lose money. They're going to be out of business. And that's where I don't think that the shops go out of business because of that. I think the shops go out of business because their eyes get too big on the speculating, and people will come in with collections, big long boxes of junk that they can't sell, and they see that one book and spend a lot of money on that one book for a whole lot, and that's where they lose their money at. That's where I think. But if they're selective, like the gentleman from Cape and Cowl, he's very selective. I brought in a short box before. I say, hey man, you know, what do you want to go? You know, what do you want to do? And he went through and was like, look, man, I really don't want to buy this whole thing. You know, what about, you know, a couple of these books? I'm like, that's cool. You know, that's fine with me. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's smart business. Bad business is buying the whole lot because you think you're going to make all your money back on that one book when it may just sit on your shelf the whole time. You know, that's just me. What do you think?
Okay, I'm glad that this actually led into this subject. Yeah, this is something I actually wanted to talk about along these lines. Do you think it's okay to take advantage of your comic book shop? I don't think it's taking advantage of them. I really think that people set up comic book shops more specifically to be in a business And if you're in that business, I expect the shop owners or the people running that shop to be wise enough to know what they have in their inventory. If you don't know what you have in your inventory and do not keep up with your business, then I'm allowed to go into the box and pick out the book that you selected and you priced at the shop at the price that you wanted to sell it for. I think it's totally fine and perfectly reasonable. Since they're in the business of selling books, they should actually be educated to know what they're selling. Do you agree?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Pure and simple. I don't think it's taking advantage of
I
it.
agree. 'Cause it's just like, I mean, Hallermouse, he said it. The comic book shop will take advantage of you in a heartbeat if you don't know what you're buying. They have no problem taking advantage of you in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's kill to be killed out there, okay? Collect or not to collect. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it, man. If you can go ahead and buy that book that you're looking at for a good price, and if that shop lets you rip them off, and that's their fault for not knowing what they have. And especially what you, like Joe was saying, if your employees are uneducated, again, that is your problem. Just like you, Sean, you sat there and fucked over that shop by all those damn bishops, because their shop wasn't educated.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Exactly. So I mean, like it goes tenfold in the situation, man. It goes hand in hand. Are they educated? Nope. Give me more books. Are they not educated? I mean, are they educated? Shit. Now it's a battle. Now it's, well, let's go to eBay. No. Go to the price guide. Go to the price guide. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just one of those things, man. And then that's when you hit the push. So, and Claw said Bob's going to beat the shit out of Eugene.
I am not. I am. I love that he knows exactly who I'm talking about. They literally relocated to another place, like the furthest possibly away from me. So, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
He won't walk here, damn it.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty funny.
I'll buy my overpriced comics somewhere else. That's cool.
That's right. But yeah, I mean, comic collecting is very fun, I think, especially when you get those good deals, right? So I enjoy it. I enjoy that, especially going to cons. Hey, Sean, when was the last con you went to? God, burn.
Yeah,
burn.
You know, I don't. I choose to not go to one. I can go to any con I want. I'm just not spending $2,000 on a plane ticket. So
yeah, deal with it.
I think the cons come to him. The cons go to him.
The cons, no. The cons don't go to him. The dealers just send him shit.
Yeah. We're starting to grow here in my province with conventions. I won't say that they're there yet. They're hardly what you guys have and complain about. You're like, oh man, like it's only Adam Hughes and Bernie Wright's in here. Shit, I'm not going this year. You're not going this year. I made those mistakes in my life before, not going to see people. You have an opportunity to see anybody, just do it. Just go. Who cares?
Sure.
You know.
Right. Archangel was saying he saw a shop buy an entire run of Walking Dead for $900. So fuck that. Get that shit for whatever you can. I remember that. I remember Archangel. He was telling us about that. This guy bought one of his local shops bought a whole collection. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. And I was like, wow.
This is getting me thinking too about. I wanted to know what you guys thought about this. Have either one of you been to an auction estate sale when it comes to buying comics, and when you actually get into almost a competition with people, when you know that there's other collectors there bidding actively? This isn't behind a computer on eBay. When you're in that auction site, the estate, the fucking the Coliseum. What do you have you guys ever done that?
Okay, first things first. Greg's Comic Book Corners in the chat.
What?
Love that guy. Miss that guy. That guy is amazing. I'm
Greg.
so glad that he's there. I'm like, Greg, don't you go nowhere. After this, we're hanging out, buddy. We're gonna hang out, Greg. Don't you run. No, I've never been to one of those. I've never been, so I wouldn't know. Have you, Joe?
No, I've been close to going to one. I was about to go to one last year, and they had great deals. I mean, the books that they showed were impressive. However, my friend tipped me off into what the small print was, if you will. Basically, on some of these auctions, the one I'm speaking of specifically last year, if you were to bid and win an auction on a said book, you would not only have to pay a premium for winning that auction, you would also have to pay another premium just for taking it off the auctioneer's hands, which was ridiculous. Let's say you won on one said book, whatever book X was, for $10, you'd be paying a premium, whatever the percentage of that book was, tacked on to whatever the price of the book was. And to tell you the truth, I was talking to GENEPAULACEPETER here about a certain auction that we just touched upon, and in the fine print, not only were you paying a 15% of what the total the total value of the auction that you won, you paid 15% on top of that, and then if you were present at the auction, if you decided to pay anything, any other method other than cash, you would pay an additional 3%. Now, if you weren't present at the auction and you paid by credit card, you were also subject to a packaging fee up to $50, depending on how large the item was. And that packaging fee was tacked on to a shipping fee. So, it sounds really long and methodical, but if you read the fine print, you would find out that maybe it's not such a good deal, depending on what the book was and how much you paid for it.
Right.
I'm sorry that was long-winded.
It was very long-winded, and I got lost in translation. I'm like, wait,
yeah,
what happened?
That's why it's called fine print.
Fine print, that's right. So I'm gonna ask the last question because it's getting close to our hour mark. So the last question that was asked by a gentleman who obviously did not watch one of our episodes. Do we have a 2017 comic book wish list that we're going to be doing?
Yes.
Let's take that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have. So my plans for 2017. 2016 was a crazy, amazing year for me as a collector. Going into 2017, I've since switched it up. I was still going to go after some big books like Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos #1. Just some bigger books, setting it out there, bringing over some of the other ones like Rex the Wonder Dog #4, which I'll never find. I'm going to carry some over. But really what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on finishing my runs. And also, I do have a shit list. So this year, actually, what I want everybody to do, right now, okay, I want to see everybody's shit list. That's what I
heard it here first. He wants to see the poop list.
I want to see your shit list of books that you think you could track down. Give yourself a challenge. That's not going to cost you much. Get the fun of the hunt. Get back to it, man. Give yourself a shit list. You find that Fumetti #1 or that No Prize book or whatever you want, the tryout book, the Marvel tryout book. Make yourself a shit list and hashtag it shit list. I don't know. Do whatever you want. But make it a top 10 shit list. That's what I want to see. I've got mine, man.
He said brute force better not be on that shit list.
Brute force, Power Pachyderms is on there. Night Cat. I'm telling you, my list is loaded up. I've been working on it all week. We're good to go. You're going to see something. I'm going to be putting it together soon. Some real hard to find stuff. Or just some really shitty stuff. So either one.
He's going to have a shitty collection at the end of this. What you got there, Comic Fan? What
first and foremost, I am going to stand by the No Prize book. The No Prize book, for whatever reason, should not belong on a shit list. If you ever looked inside a No Prize book, you would know that there was a lot of editorial or a lot of things that were not caught by the editorial staff in Marvel Comics. It's tons of really great stuff that you'd never noticed until you actually look back at those books. That's a great book to show you what writers can get away with. It's really fun. But as far as my top 10, I have yet to really thought about it. I'm sure it's going to be, you know what? I think it's actually this time I'm going to take time for me to really search into what I enjoy reading. Not so much the good old standby key books. You know, yeah, those are going to be on it, no doubt. For me to say those aren't going to be on there, being me not being a collector. But I'm going to roll over my first appearance of Rhino. Yes, I had the opportunity to buy it, but I'm being a little bit more selective since that's the last one on my list. Alongside that, who knows, really, to tell you the truth. I'm really hashing it out right now in my head. Throughout the next couple of weeks, I'll put it up on my channel.
Well, there you go. I mean, I think before I get into mine, I think Reader 1717. She put up hers already. I mean, she already put her video up, and I mean, it was a good video. It's just like you said, Joe. It's your time. 2017 is about you, not about collecting whatever. She's doing the same thing. I mean, she, wants to go ahead and just do her thing. She wants to finish out runs that she started. She wants to find her way back into what she's doing. Shit. Ha, she's right there. I swear to God. I swear to God.
I know. You start saying her name and she hops in. Yeah.
I swear to God, I can't say it without her popping in. It's funny as hell. There's a story. I'll tell it in the off air because it's not appropriate for this. I said a name and she popped up. And I'm like, whoa. So yeah, she's going all personal into her collection this year, 2017, and I think that's where a lot of people, like, after listening to a lot of people talk about their collection and what they're going to be doing on their 2017, I think 2016 burned everybody out and made everybody really realize that you can't just throw in a bunch of keys on a piece of paper and hope to get all those by the end of the year, because when you look back, you're saying to yourself, like, man, I just bought all these keys, and then at the end of the year you're going, do I really want this book? I really didn't want this book. You know what I mean? It sounded good. And yes, King of the Golden State, not you. We get it, okay, Mr. fucking big balloon head, tall.
How could you not want a Spider-Man #1?
Right.
With the exception of James there, yeah.
I think everybody is burned out with 2000. Man, really, honestly, ever since the Avengers movie, for like the last 2-3 years, it's people slowly getting burned out with playing this game that I'm not. It's very difficult to take part in some of this, and why not step back and work within your budget and work digging up. You can still enjoy the hunt and stuff. You don't have to be tracking down these next big books going to be in a movie,
Right, exactly. But, I mean, with all that, though, for me, I'm taking the 2 books that are on my list and moving them over to 2017, and those are the only 2 books that will be on my list, and they'll be the only 2 books that I will be extremely trying to get. Don't get me wrong, I will be grabbing, my little monthly runs, Hillbillies and Power Rangers and stuff, and then whatever fillers for my runs I'll be getting. But those are going to be the 2 books that I hope to have at least one by the end of next year. And one is Albedo #2, the first appearance of, as everybody likes to say, the Ninja Rabbit or the Samurai Bunny. But it's first appearance of Yosagi Yojimbo. Artist stands Bugs Bunny on meth. All that shit. And then the next one is Fantastic Four #4. I hate Fantastic Four, but I like Submariner. And Fantastic Four #4 is the first appearance of Submariner in the Silver Age. So that's it. That's all I'm gonna get. So with that, last question from Jeff Johnson, who I think he didn't even go and watch it. I think now he's in the chat. You guys are still here? I was waiting for you in the Hangouts. Look at this. You know what? We're never asking any more of his questions anymore. Okay? This Claw guy, man, he has it out for you there, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You know what, Mr. Claw? You know where he lives,
Yeah,
and I want to see it. Huh?
Take it to the chat.
Take it to the chat. That's right. We're taking it to the off airs. We're taking it to the off airs.
Yeah.
Right. There
so
you go.
There's going to be an off air going up after this too, guys. If you guys are wanting to come by and hang out and chop it up, let us know. No, that's for you, Frosty. Oh, you can slap me too. Bring it on. Anyways, you guys have a great one. Thanks for watching. We will be here next Saturday. Wait, no, that's Christmas Eve.
That's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
I'll be here Saturday. No. To be determined.
To be determined.
All right, everybody. You guys have a good one.
Later.